Emmerdale is gearing up for a dramatic summer, packed with jealousy, revenge, and shocking betrayals. The ITV soap has teased several major storylines that will unfold in the coming weeks, with buried secrets and long-hidden lies threatening to tear apart relationships across the village. Mackenzie Boyd is struggling to move past Charity Dingle's betrayal after discovering that Ross Barton is the biological father of baby Layla. Although Mac has managed to keep his anger towards Ross under control for now, tensions between them are building rapidly. Before long, the pair clash in a heated confrontation near a barn, where the explosive showdown leaves someone's life in serious danger. Meanwhile, at home farm, Dawn Taylor is preparing for her wedding, but finds it difficult to watch her former husband, Billy Fletcher, begin a relationship with Gabby Thomas. As doubts grow, Joe Tate starts questioning whether Gabby is right about Dawn still being in love with Billy. Can the wedding go ahead without disaster, or will jealousy ruin everything? Elsewhere, after Kev Townsend returns to the village, his biological son Lewis Barton decides to give their relationship a fresh start. However, their hopeful reunion quickly falls apart when the café is robbed, leading to suspicions that Kev may have been involved. Determined to uncover the truth, Lewis confronts Kev, who firmly denies having anything to do with the crime. Despite Kev's desperate attempts to convince him, Lewis refuses to believe his explanation. Has their father and son relationship already reached breaking point? At the same time, Robert Sugden is left deeply unsettled when Kev suddenly remembers how he knows Robert's cousin, Serena Sugden. Things take another dramatic turn when Robert is knocked unconscious by a runaway farm trailer. Aaron Dingle becomes suspicious because Serena happened to be nearby when the accident occurred. Sharing his concerns with Robert, Aaron and Chas Dingle decide to keep a close watch on Serena. Later, Robert faces Serena with evidence exposing her dishonesty, demanding to know what secret she has been hiding. Will the truth finally come out, and if it does, will those closest to her ever be able to forgive her? Looking ahead to the upcoming storylines, Emmerdale producer Sophie Roper said that viewers can expect a summer filled with shocking revelations, broken relationships, revenge, and betrayal. She promised an explosive season packed with twists that will leave audiences questioning who they can truly trust, while hinting that even more dramatic moments are still to come. Emmerdale teases explosive summer with deadly confrontation, wedding chaos, and long-buried secrets. Emmerdale has revealed an action-packed summer filled with revenge, jealousy, and shocking twists, as hidden truths threaten to change the lives of several villagers. Following Charity Dingle's confession about baby Layla's true father, Mackenzie Boyd is left devastated, and his growing anger is soon directed at Ross Barton. Elsewhere, despite Kev Townsend's heartfelt efforts to reconnect with Lewis, including an emotional performance of father and son, their fragile relationship is thrown into turmoil after a shocking incident at the village café. Meanwhile, Robert Sugden becomes the victim of a terrifying attack just as mysterious newcomer Serena Sugden's hidden past begins to unravel. Trouble is brewing across the village as old lies resurface and long-standing secrets push relationships to breaking point. The summer promises intense drama, with Kev, Lewis, Mac, Robert, Ross, and Billy all finding themselves at the heart of the action. Mackenzie struggles to come to terms with Charity's betrayal after learning that Ross is Layla's biological father. Although he initially keeps his emotions under control, the tension between the two men eventually erupts during a violent confrontation near a barn, leaving one person's life hanging by a thread. At the same time, Dawn Taylor's wedding day is drawing closer, but she finds it painful to watch her former husband Billy Fletcher move on with Gabby Thomas. Before long, Joe Tate begins to question whether Gabby is right in believing Dawn still has feelings for Billy. Will the highly anticipated wedding go ahead as planned, or will jealousy destroy everything? Elsewhere, Lewis Barton decides to give his biological father, Kev Townsend, an opportunity to prove himself, hoping they can finally build a proper relationship. However, their fresh start quickly falls apart after the village café is ransacked, with suspicions soon falling on Kev as a possible suspect. Determined to uncover the truth, Lewis refuses to ignore the growing doubts. Furious over the accusations, Kev strongly insists he had no involvement in the robbery. Despite his attempts to clear his name, Lewis refuses to believe him, raising the question of whether Kev has already lost his chance to be part of his son's life. Meanwhile, Robert Sugden is left unsettled when Kev unexpectedly recognizes Serena Sugden from his past. Soon afterwards, Robert is knocked unconscious by a runaway farm trailer, prompting Aaron Dingle to become suspicious after noticing Serena was present at the scene when the accident happened. Aaron shares his concerns with Robert, and together with Chas Dingle, they decide to quietly investigate Serena's behavior. As Robert and Chas search for answers, a secret hidden on Serena's stolen phone threatens to expose everything she has been hiding. Robert eventually confronts Serena, with evidence proving she has not been telling the truth. What dangerous secret is she protecting, and will those closest to her ever be able to forgive her deception? Speaking about the dramatic storylines ahead, producer Sophie Roper promised a summer packed with shocking revelations, fractured relationships, revenge, and betrayal. She teased that viewers will constantly question who can be trusted as one explosive storyline follows another throughout the season. Expanding the Sugden family is a smart decision, but Emmerdale can't forget everyone else. Emmerdale has welcomed another member of the Sugden family, bringing fresh life to one of the soap's most legendary dynasties. With Serena Sugden arriving in the village, the long-established family finally feels like it's growing again. While that's an exciting development, it also raises an important concern that other long-standing residents could receive even less attention. The Sugdens, Dingles, and Tates have always been the backbone of the series. The show originally revolved around the Sugdens. The Dingles have provided generations of continuity, and the Tates have consistently represented wealth, influence, and power. Expanding these famous families is important, but it shouldn't come at the cost of sidelining characters who don't belong to those well-known surnames. Serena's introduction gives the Sugden family the fresh energy it has been missing for quite some time. Her recent scenes with Sarah Sugden created a strong first impression, while her kindness towards Charity Dingle also showed a compassionate side to her personality. Of course, it seems unlikely that Serena's story will be completely straightforward, as new arrivals in the village almost always have secrets waiting to be uncovered. Beyond increasing the number of Sugdens in the village, Serena also creates opportunities for fresh friendships, rivalries, and future storylines. It would be enjoyable to see her develop a genuine bond with Sarah, while Robert Sugden's reaction to discovering another member of his family is sure to be interesting. The issue isn't Serena joining the show, it's the possibility that Emmerdale's continued focus on its biggest families could leave many existing characters overlooked. Looking back at 2026 so far, it's striking how many of the soap's biggest and most heavily promoted storylines have centered around its major dynasties. Meanwhile, numerous other residents have largely been supporting players in other people's stories instead of leading their own. Several examples highlight this pattern. Kane Dingle faced a devastating cancer diagnosis. Moira Dingle spent time in prison. Charity gave birth to Layla after keeping the baby's true parentage hidden for months. Paddy Kirk struggled with the consequences of his father's deadly actions. Joe Tate manipulated and blackmailed countless villagers, while Robert Sugden dealt with saying goodbye to his sister and adjusting to Joe becoming his employer. Individually, there's nothing wrong with these storylines. The real concern is that the biggest plots continue to revolve around characters the audience already knows extremely well. While the show keeps adding new layers to its most established families, many newer or less connected residents are still waiting for the chance to headline major storylines of their own. Emmerdale airs on ITV1 every weekday at 8 p.m. and is also available to stream on ITVX and YouTube from 7 a.m.